to TalkFCB and welcome to the semi-final stage of the 2022 World Cup Finals. We have only 4 teams remaining: Argentina, Croatia, France and indeed Morocco. They're going to be battling it out to become the new world champions, with each of them believing that it could be their year. Today, we're going to be following the progress once again of Lionel Messi in his quest to win the big one. It is the trophy that he's always wanted. It's his last attempt to get it, and he's 2 wins away from winning the World Cup. Could it happen for Argentina, or could Croatia pull off a sensational victory again at this stage at a World Cup? We are going to be looking into the 2 teams, the lineups, the predictions, everything we can expect from this clash. It is huge. So let's do it. Because when you are looking at Argentina versus Croatia, the first interesting part about this is that Croatia, of course, came through in Group F as the runners-up, finishing behind Morocco there. And the 2 of those teams playing out a 0-0 draw on match day 1 in the group stage. And who would have thought that following that game, both of them would be in the semi-final? Unbelievable here for Croatia and, of course, for Morocco. And looking here at the matchup between Argentina and Croatia, obviously they're both teams deserving of their semi-final spot. Anybody that gets here, you've earned it. You've had to work hard to get to the semi-final stage. And I think Croatia there, the word you used to describe them so far, has definitely been solid. You know, they've worked their way through. They had a big win over Canada, but apart from that, they've been close matches. They've had to really hold their nerve to make it through. But the one thing I would say straight away about them is they're not underdogs. I've heard a lot of talk coming into this game here about, Croatia, the plucky team, small population, almost like they'd just be happy to get to this stage and take part. That's nonsense. They are here to win, because that's what they've done for several years now. We are talking about the 2018 World Cup finalists. They have some of the most experienced players left in this tournament in their team, and they know how to win football matches. They know how to win games at the World Cup and in the knockout stages. I think if you look at their game against Brazil in the quarterfinals, Brazil, one of the heavy favourites to win it. They had so many fans inside the stadium, so much expectation on them, but Croatia managed to frustrate them. They managed to hold Brazil there deep into extra time, and even once Neymar scored to put Brazil ahead, and everybody thought it was all over, Croatia thought otherwise. They will stay in games. They will work hard there to keep themselves in touching distance. And they had one shot in the entirety of the 120 minutes of football, and that one shot was a goal. And I think there is a calmness here about Croatia that they are going to lean upon in this semi-final matchup here. They've beaten a spirited Japan side, then beating Brazil, both of them on penalties. That takes bottle. That takes real backbone there to stand up, look defeat in the eye twice, and come out on the winning team. Croatia here are not a team to be messed with, and they are not a team to be underestimated in any way. But I think for Argentina too, that's the key coming into this game, because speaking of spirit, speaking of heart, they've shown plenty themselves, haven't they, throughout this World Cup, and especially in the last round against the Netherlands. To bounce back from blowing the 2-0 lead that they had, it looked like it was going to be over in 90 minutes, but then conceding those late goals, and in the final seconds of the game. But how well did they hit back? How well did Argentina respond to that adversity there? And a lot has been written about their reaction against the Netherlands there, winning the penalty shootout, the celebrations that followed, whether it was disrespectful, whether it went too far. It's up to you to decide what you think about all that. But let me tell you one thing. That kind of spirit, that kind of togetherness that we've seen from this team, that's why they're here. That is why they were able to bounce back from the defeat against Saudi Arabia. When everybody was ready to pile on Argentina, ready to write them off, this team said no. We are together. We are a family. We are united. And that is what this team is right now. They have an us against the world mentality, quite literally, in the case of the World Cup. And can they now go one step further? Because, of course, all of the spotlight once again is going to be on Lionel Messi. But what I would like to say about him is it's not just about here his ability over the past few games. We all know about what Messi can do on the field, the goals, the assists, all the rest of it. But what I would actually highlight right now is the leadership we're seeing from him. I thought we saw it there in the 2 penalties that he took against the Netherlands. We also saw a big reaction from him, didn't we, after the final whistle? There's a fire burning inside Messi right now. There is a feeling here that he is so ready, so determined to take on the world stage and to reach here another World Cup final. But I would also look on the other team as well, guys, for another man who might be feeling exactly the same thing, Luka Modric, because he may play for our biggest rivals in Real Madrid, but you still cannot fail to appreciate what this man does. He has been doing it now for so many years, 37 years old. Every year you think, okay, that's surely the end of Modric now. Surely now he's going to start declining. It just hasn't happened. It doesn't look like happening. He has shown timeless quality in that midfield. We saw it again against Brazil. But speaking indeed about timeless quality, speaking there about longevity, as we now move on to the teams, I want to actually go back to 2018 there, 4 years ago at the last World Cup when these two teams met in the group stage. And it didn't go well for Argentina. This was a game here, match day 2 it was in the group, and Croatia destroyed them. In the second half there, 3 second half goals, Rebic, Modric and our own at the time, Ivan Rakitic scoring, and that left Argentina on the brink of elimination heading into the final game. And I want to look at that game here, and I want to look at the team, because this for me is extraordinary. When you look at where Argentina were in the last World Cup, when you look at the difference between that team there and the team we see today. And I think that highlights there not only the unbelievable work that Scaloni has done since he's arrived there, taken over from Sampaoli, the change that he's made in this team in what is a relatively short space of time. It's extraordinary, but I also think this speaks volumes about Messi and the kind of expectations that has been on his shoulders at international level, because that team there was expected to go deep in the tournament. Because of Messi alone, people thought Argentina can do it. They can go in the knockout stages and beat France. And those are the kind of expectations that Messi has had to live with his entire career. Looking at the names on that list there, and that is why now he has a team that he can be proud of. He has a team here that can function around him. And I think that's why we're seeing Messi so up for this, so ready for this. Because I think he loves this team, and he loves being involved in this team more than anyone else. Because if we are looking at the Croatia starting lineup now, what is expected from them? Livakovic was absolutely extraordinary versus Brazil, and he's actually now being linked to some of the big clubs in European football, so no doubt a big move on the horizon for him potentially after this World Cup. And even along the back line there, I was really impressed with Croatia against Brazil. I thought Juranovic was outstanding there at right back. Lots of experience there with Dejan Lovren at the heart of their defence. But what about Vardy? He has been absolutely terrific at the World Cup. Even before this tournament, he was highly rated. A lot of big teams tracking him as well. And the same goes as well for Borna Sosa. He's actually been linked to Barcelona, as has Gvardiol. And both of those players have real quality. But I think midfield, that is where Croatia store all of their experience and their quality there. You've got Brozovic in the holding midfield role, Kovacic alongside Modric. And I think the thing about Brozovic is he's not only technically good, he can play with the ball, he can help Croatia when they're in possession, but out of possession as well. He works incredibly hard there. The ground that he covers every single game there, he does a lot of hard work. Of course, Modric and Kovacic more than chipping in with that as well. You've got Pasalic, who played on the right-hand side against Brazil, and I think we could see that again against Argentina, because what he did there, he helped out defensively. It was against Vinicius, against Brazil, against Argentina. Maybe he could be close to Lionel Messi. We're going to have to wait and see how that goes. On the left-hand side, Perisic, more experience and more quality, and Kramaric up front. He has been outstanding as well. In front of goal, he is clinical, and Croatia have got real quality. Make no mistake about that. These are top players. When it comes, though, to Argentina, obviously against the Netherlands there, we saw Lionel Scaloni change shape and line up with a back three there, with Acuna and Molina pushing on. And of course, that worked really well, with Molina scoring the opening goal of the game, and a brilliant one that it was. But will Scaloni stick with that three at the back, or will he now change? Because obviously he was matching it up directly against the Netherlands' similar shape. So that's going to be interesting to keep an eye on. There are, though, unfortunately for Argentina, some suspensions to contend with after the Matia Lahoz show against the Netherlands. Both Acuna and Montiel are suspended, and I think Acuna on that left-hand side, that is a big blow for Argentina. He is going to be a loss in this game, most likely there Tagliafico looking at him to replace him, but I don't think he's at the level that Acuna has shown so far at this World Cup. But I think what we might see here is a return to a back four system. One of the centre-backs is going to drop out. It hasn't even been ruled out that that maybe Lisandro Martinez could play at left back. You know, he has played in that role in the past a few times. That would be an option for Scaloni. But what I really want to see, guys, is Di Maria going to be back in there? We saw him come on for the final minutes there of extra time against the Netherlands, and I thought he was outstanding. I thought he really did change the game in Argentina's favour. So much quality going forward, as we know from him, and I think if he can return to their attacking trio, that will really help Argentina get a foothold in this game. But when we are looking at the predictions ahead of this one, once again, very much confident in Argentina on the channel here. Lots of people thinking they're going to get it done in 90 minutes here. Croatia have been an expert there of forcing games on, pushing it into extra time, pushing it into penalties. And I think if you're Argentina, you want to get this done. You will want to try and get the game won and over in 90 minutes, because if it goes on, I think the longer it goes on here, the more you play then into Croatia's hands. So Argentina have got to come out strong. They've got to get that first goal. They have to put the pressure on from the word go. And if I did have to follow up there my prediction from the last game, when of course I said that it would go to penalties, and it did, and here I wouldn't be surprised if it doesn't quite go that far, but I think we might see extra time. I think this game is going to go beyond the 90 minutes, but there might be an extra time winner in there to celebrate for one of these teams. And of course also there in the other semi-final, we have France against Morocco to look forward to. Dembele, who is a bit quieter against England, is going to be involved again, I'm sure, from the start. He's going to be looking to combine with Mbappe, and Giroud has been so impressive at this World Cup. Koundé as well should start the game at right back. But for Morocco, what a journey they're on. What an experience they are having at this World Cup. They already knocked out Spain. They've already knocked out Portugal. Could they now knock out the world champions? We're going to be talking all about these games over the next few days. Plenty of reviews coming up on the channel, of course. I will be seeing you very soon. Enjoy the game, and can Messi make it happen again? But until next time, as always, it's the World Cup.